Hey, all you van lifers out there. Hope everybody's having a good day. Well, we did our maiden voyage. As you can see, Linda's washing laundry. Everything worked great. The mule bags were freaking awesome. They store so much stuff. The Dometic fridge worked awesome. Yep, there's still an ice cream cone in there. Oh, that just might have to get eaten. That might just have to get eaten. It's nice to be able to hide ice cream in your van with the Dometic fridge running that nobody in the family knows about, because I don't think they watch my videos because they hear me making them. They don't know all the little secrets. But anyway, everything worked flawlessly except for one thing: the Webasto heater. We went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, hit the Tetons. Said, hey, how far is Yellowstone? Realized it's only like 30 miles outside the north entrance of the Tetons. So we drove up to Yellowstone, hit Yellowstone for 2 days, came back. In the mornings, it was in the 40s. The radiant floor heating worked great. Nice and toasty as expected. But we turn on the heater and the fan would just blow cold, and couldn't figure out why. Apparently it's not igniting. And I'm not sure if it's getting fuel, because when I installed it, it was, I think, in the high 90s here in Utah. So when I turned it on, it would just, I could have it set at 90 degrees, but that would feel like cool air because the ambient temperature was warmer than that. So there was really no way for me to test it to make sure that it was getting hot air coming out of it. You know, when it's blowing 85 or 90 degree air at you and it's 40, it feels awesome. When it's 100 degrees outside, then it just feels like cooler air. So we got to figure that out. Of course, I didn't get an instruction manual. If you watch my other Webasto heater video, didn't come with an instruction manual. So I'm back on Google, YouTube, and Googling Reddit forums and Webasto forums. And I found one guy that posted a video talking about, my phone said, here's a matching Reddit result. He was talking about how it says, wherever he got the instructions, that you're supposed to mount the fuel pump very close to the fuel tank. And what I did was I ran regular fuel line, which comes off the nipple off of the fuel tank. I used that same tubing all the way toward the back, and then I used their little short tubing to go to, or their really skinny tubing, excuse me, to go to the fuel, from the fuel pump to the actual unit. And I think what you have to do is have it come out of the fuel tank, get to their skinny tubing, go all the way to your fuel pump, skinny tubing, back to their tubing that gets big, that goes into the heater. So what I'm going to do today is some general troubleshooting. I'm going to turn the thing on and have on the other side of the fuel pump, disconnect the hose and see if gas is squirting out of that. If gas isn't squirting out of it, then I know that it's not getting fuel. If gas is squirting out of it, then we're gonna have to call Webasto and say, hey, look, it's getting fuel. Why isn't the igniter kicking on? Because the igniter might be kicking on, but it's not getting fuel because I used that bigger tubing, and it might have an airlock or something like that. So I'm gonna try disconnecting that, letting it run for a minute. The fuel pump will be getting signal from the Webasto heater. Hey, I'm turned on, send me fuel. If it's turning on and sucking gas through the tube, it should be squirting out the other side of that. That will be probably the easiest way to test to see if you're getting fuel. If it's not getting fuel, then we got to fix that. If it is getting fuel, then we got to call Webasto. So anyway, just some general tips and tricks on how to troubleshoot the Webasto heater, and I'll keep y'all updated as I find out more information. I want to show y'all something. So I have regular size tubing coming all the way to here, goes to a 90 degree in here, comes out here. This is from Webasto, this little fatter fitting, which is here and here, and this is the skinny line that they give you that I then have going into my heater. I think you have to have this coming from the front end all the way to this point also. So what I'm going to do is undo this bolt so I'm not jacking with these. under the van. I'm going to disconnect these, cut that zip tie, which will allow me to drop this down. Then it'll be a lot easier to just sit here and play with the thing. Sit here like this, playing with it, and try to figure out if it's getting fuel or not. Then up there trying to undo all those little ring clamps up underneath the van. It'll be easier to just undo that bolt, that blue bolt that's in my other video about where I mounted it. So anyway, we'll see how it comes out. Y'all hang in there. All right. The lighting kind of sucks because the sun's come from the other side, but you can see we got this thing hanging down now. So it'll be easier to disconnect on this side. Get a better angle. Disconnect on this side to see if fuel's squirting out. So let me go turn it on. We'll disconnect this first and then turn it on. First time I've ever heard it make this noise. You can actually see it kind of jolting a little bit. Oh, there's a drop of fuel. So it appears it's not getting fuel because it just stopped. Okay, I started making kind of a clicking sound. Fuel pump was kind of moving, but it didn't do anything. But a couple drops of fuel did squirt out this line. So I know fuel's making it down that tube. So I don't know if it's got an airlock or not. We're gonna put that other little tube back in, try it again, and see if we can't get this bad boy to click on. It may have just had an airlock right there, because that's the first time I've ever heard the pump. Oh, now it's clicking and squirting little drops of fuel coming out. You can see the drops on the ground. I think it's that big tubing, because we know the pump works now. Good way to troubleshoot. We got an error message. HO2. I'm not sure what that is, but we're gonna go look it up, and I bet it means it's not getting fuel. Okay. We got some sound here that was not there before. And this thing is clicking. And a little bit of vibration, but yeah, you can definitely smell the smoke. So here's the problem. Fuel was making it through because I see little drops that I showed you earlier. The issue is that it has to run enough times to suck all the air out, and what it does is it errors out before it can get all the air out of the entire line. So what you have to do is turn it on, wait till you get an error code, go back to like the home screen, I guess you might call it, go back, turn it on. I got an error number 2 again. Oh, here, shoot, I thought I was gonna start blowing smoke. I was gonna show you something. Anyway, did that about 3 or 4 times. I'm gonna call it dry firing it. So it's going, the pump's sucking air, sending it, it's getting little drops, it's trying, it ain't working, it gives you an error code. I went and turned my 12 volt off, turned it back on, went to the home screen, did it again. After about the 4th or 5th time, it is definitely making some noise now. And it was shooting a little bit of black smoke out, which I'm assuming is just a little carbon, as it's its very first time for it to ever fire up. I was hoping it's gonna smoke again so I could show you all this, but dadgummit, it's not gonna do it now. We're gonna go inside and see if we're getting some heat here. I got it set at 95. Oh yeah. Oh, she's toasty. Linda, come put your hand over here. We need a Linda verification. She won't do it probably. Yeah, she ain't coming in front of the camera. She's not camera ready this morning. Anyway, but here's what it sounds like once the igniter's going. You can definitely hear it. Man, am I happy. So let me just show y'all what this tubing looks like. This is the little bitty tubing, and it's in my other video. I don't know if you can even focus on that. Anyway, it is like maybe 2 millimeters. ID on the inside. Super, super small. Here's what they give you, a big, long, super long piece of it. And this is the length of my van. Anyway, my next step, if this didn't work, was to connect where it's coming straight out of the top of the fuel tank. Go down, you just basically shove this in the little bitty small piece, put a ring clamp on it, and have this tubing just lay on the ground underneath all the way to the fuel pump. If that worked, then I would go back and reroute it correctly, put it in wire loom, all that stuff. But just a quick test would be just to throw the damn thing on the ground, run it underneath there, make sure that it works before you go through all the trouble. But anyway, yeah, she is blowing like a little whorehouse in Texas. All right. Anyway, stick your hand down there behind the thing.
Yeah, I feel it.
You feel it?
Yep.
She feels it. No, don't move it. That thing's bungee corded in. Just stick your hand down there.
Yep.
You feel the hot air?
Yeah.
All right. They got the Linda pass of approval. Webasto heater's working. I wish it would have worked when it was 47 degrees in the Tetons and we were freezing our butts off. But anyway, we're happy campers now.